Well, let's start with a big breaking update coming in. We're learning that the United States and Iran are now heading towards a second round of talks just days after the first round collapse in Pakistan. US President Donald Trump has indicated that negotiations could resume within the next 2 days, and the talks are likely to take place in Pakistan once again. And Vice President J.D. Vance is expected to lead a potential second round of negotiation with Iranian official, saying that, in fact, the meeting could also happen. And this is very important before the ceasefire expires next week. And now we're learning that Donald Trump has suggested that the talks could resume in the next 2 days in Pakistan. Let me get you more perspective and go across to my colleague Mayank, who's been tracking all the details. Mayank, do tell us more about the second round of talks that are going to happen. And also, both the sides have proposed a suspension in the Iranian uranium enrichment, but cannot settle on a time frame yet. So also take us through what could be the sticking point.
To begin with, let us talk about the kind of environment shaping which was going on, not even after first round of talks in Islamabad. And even before that, there had been lots of posturing which was going on from both sides, as if to prove that none of them was interested, but if required, they are going to talk. So the same thing has happened, and viewers must have already been hearing the kind of analysis Times Now was bringing for them. So that goes, when having said that, it is again a very positive movement, because ultimately it can lead to a cessation of all kind of operations on every side, and for a long time actually, because you never know, after ceasefire the operations may resume, and that will create a lot of destruction which already has created. And having said that, and expecting some sort of a movement ahead, because last time none of the sides, they had given out that there was a specific resolution on something, but nuclear was the aspect on which J.D. Vance had said that it is something on which they won't be giving any kind of concession, and that is a must-go area for them. And from Iran side, while they were pushing that Lebanon should be the one which should be immediately dissolved, all kind of operations against them should be stopped. But here again, I think nuclear enrichment, which is it is going to be one of the main areas on which the talks will be focusing. So let us hope to happen that, because JCPOA in 2015 April, for the viewers' perspective, it was joint comprehensive plan which was decided in 2015. It also included it was also regarding the enrichment of uranium, and let us hope that these talks, they move forward, because right from the beginning, apart from other two, when I say other two aims of the Operation Epic Fury, which was to bring down the regime, to blunt the military-industrial complex of Iran, in that it was included that nuclear capability Iran should not achieve a level wherein it can enrich uranium to the weapons grade, or it should start manufacturing nuclear weapons. So it is definitely a very positive movement, and let us hope that a step forward comes out as a result in next round of talks. And also, for the viewers' sake, it is important to bring out that both sides, even during the first round of talks, had the delegations comprised the seniority or the people with enough mandate to decide things for them, and on which I mean to say that J.D. Vance, which is the Vice President of US, and from the other side, which was Iranian speakers, the Foreign Minister, Governor of the Central Bank, which was 70 member delegation. So you can understand both sides are looking forward to bring out some kind of a result here.
Absolutely, and both the sides have their own sets of demands. Remember last time when the first round of talks ended, J.D. Vance had mentioned that they had put forth best and a final offer before Iran. So the ball is now in the court of Iran. Stay on with us. We have another breaking update coming in. As far as the delegation that will be going to Islamabad is concerned, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance is expected to lead a potential second round as well. As far as the negotiation between U.S. and Iran in Islamabad is concerned, he will be joined by U.S. Envoy Steve Witkoff and former White House advisor Jared Kushner as well. So the delegation is going to remain the same. The last time as well, as far as the first round of negotiation are concerned, US Vice President J.D. Vance had led the delegation. The negotiation lasted for around 21 hours, but there was no deal inside. But now we're learning that there is going to be a second round of talk as well. There are going to be some sticking point, as our reporter also mentioned, that both the sides have proposed a suspension in the Iranian uranium enrichment, but cannot settle on a time frame. So it remains to be seen that whether that will be settled this time or not. Let me also bring in my colleague Rishabh, who's been tracking all the details. Rishabh, we are learning that the delegation will remain the same. It will be led by J.D. Vance, who's the Vice President of the United States.
Well, J.D. Vance returning to Pakistan within 1 week is something that Pakistan would have also not thought. The hospitality, the protocol that would again be put in place, and whether the talks will happen or not. Because, see, the problem here when it comes to negotiation between Iran and US is that the differences has not been ironed out. What happens when a senior leadership member reaches on the negotiation table? Before that, there are track 1, track 2, track 1.5 for that matter, talks that take place. All the differences, all the complications are ironed out, and a clear picture is already on table, and the leaders return to table to have the last minute conversation that if you need this and we can give you this leeway, we understand that your officials have drawn a red line on this and we can agree to this. Here the problem is the red line is haywire. Everyone has their preconceived notion. Iran wants everything in their favor. US wants everything in their favor. Pakistan wants this talks to continue. That's it. And that's the reason that the first talk failed. Because for 21 hours, you made Arakchi or J.D. Vance sit and discuss things. But the problem was that the complications were yet not over. So J.D. Vance would have his preconceived notions. Arakchi and his team would have his preconceived notions. Given that there were never direct talks between the two sides, they did not know what the other side was ready to concede and what were the red lines. This time around, they'll come prepared. Remains to be seen how things unfold. Thursday, which tomorrow we are told that J.D. Vance will again reach Pakistan. So it would be interesting to see how things unfold and what happens at this stage of negotiation.
Absolutely. So it remains to be seen whether in the coming days there will be de-escalation or not. But Rishabh, also do take us through the sticking points, the friction point as far as the negotiations are concerned, because we also have a statement coming in from J.D. Vance. He said that there is a lot of mistrust between US and Iran, but that is something that cannot be resolved overnight. Take us through the details.
Well, see, the distrust between Tehran and Washington cannot be, cleared overnight. It's the distrust of 4 decades. 1979 was the last time you had a U.S. delegation talking to Iran directly. And then it came in 2026 at the level of J.D. Vance and Arakchi. But what are the sticking points? U.S. wants Strait of Hormuz to be open, free for navigation. Right. Iran says, no, we will have sovereign right over it. B, US wants complete full stop on the enrichment of uranium. Iran says no, that's not happening. Iran has learnt it hard way, Kansha, that nuclear weapons are much more than a weapon of destruction, and it is more of a weapon of deterrence. Sometime in 1990s, early 2000, countries like Iran, countries like North Korea, countries like Libya had issues, and they all started working on nuclear weapon. North Korea, thanks to Pakistan help that they gave to North Korea, developed a weapon. Iran, on the other hand, issued a fatwa, and Mustafa Ali Khamenei issued a fatwa saying that nuclear weapon is haram and should not be there in Iran. See, 2026, North Korea, everyone might have problems with North Korea, but no one dares to attack North Korea. On the other hand, Iran has been attacked twice in the last 2 years. So now Iran understands that enriching uranium, holding the key to nuclear development is key to their security. So that is something that is another sticking
Absolutely.
point.
So there are three major demands as far as US is concerned: dismantling of the nuclear enrichment facility, handover of the nukes as well, and most importantly, and one of the biggest friction points till now has been the Strait of Hormuz. So US wants Iran to reopen that key waterway. Stay on with us. We have a reaction coming in from US Vice President J.D. Vance. He is expected to head the next round of the Islamabad talks. He has said that the mistrust between US and Iran is a hurdle that cannot be resolved overnight, but added that the Iranian negotiators will be shown a genuine, they have been showing a genuine desire to reach an agreement. Now, that's a reaction that is coming in from J.D. Vance, who's the Vice President of the United States, who, remember, was part of the delegation that went to Islamabad last weekend for the talks with Iranian delegation. Now, his remarks underscored the central diplomatic hurdle after weekend talks in Islamabad failed to produce a breakthrough despite more than 21 hours of the negotiations there. Listen in to what he said.
When you looked across from...
Let me once again bring in my colleague Rishabh. Rishabh, talk to us more about the lack of trust between US and Iran, because since day one, ever since the war has started, Iran has been saying that the negotiations were underway before that as well. And they also gave a lot of assurance to the United States. Remember, the last talks were held on Feb 26. But despite that, Iran was bombed by the United States. So tell us more about the mistrust between the two nations, because J.D. Vance has said that that is a hurdle that cannot be resolved overnight.
Well, Akansha, talking about the recent ones, on 28th of February, when this whole attack took place on Iran, the first attack from Israel and US took place on Iran, the negotiators were sitting in Geneva talking to the UN watchdogs for nuclear facilities and discussing that how things would go forward. In Oman as well, in Muscat, there were teams from US as well as Iran talking and discussing things. There were discussions happening via Oman, and in mid of that you attack Iran, and that's the major distress that you have, that while you are negotiating, you are also attacking us. Before that, if we go last year, sometime in June, when the B-2 bombers hit Ifsahan and Bushehr, that time also both the sides were discussing. Arakchi was actually talking to the UN watchdogs, and in mid of the negotiations, Iran was attacked. There are mistrusts. We have seen Iranians carrying out attack on Israeli and US diplomats as well. Here in India also, be 2023, or there was one in 2021 where there were blasts that took place in front of Israeli embassy. If you go back further in history, the 1979 US Assembly seized by Iranians is again one of the base point of the mistrust that both the sides have. So there has been multiple incidents, multiple examples that has led to a severe distrust between Tehran and Washington. And J.D. Vance is very correct when he says that it is not going to get over overnight. It will take time for both the sides to come to...
In the backdrop of that lack of trust, it remains to be seen how the second round of negotiation pans out in the coming days. Stay on with us. We have another breaking update coming in as far as U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is concerned. Remember, just a while back, he hosted the first direct talks between Israel and Lebanon in decades.